Hi everyone, I've just done a reading regarding the Divine Masculine, and in that reading, that particular reading, sorry, I better put it in context, that particular reading was about the current energies around the Divine Masculine and, you know, what he wants the Divine Feminine to know about his current circumstances and about his feelings towards the Divine Feminine. So, what came up in that reading, and it seems to be coming up a lot recently, is about the position that he's in at the moment and the fact that he feels stuck. So it just occurred to me that we keep having this coming up in readings, but I want to have a closer look at why he's feeling so stuck. What are the emotions behind that are making him stay in his current circumstances? Okay, so we're going to do that. Oh, by the way, if you haven't seen the other DM reading that I've just done, I'm going to put a link to it at the end of this reading. So by all means, have a look at that too. Right, let's get started. So I want to just have a look at the circumstances again about what this current situation is. So Spirit, what can you tell us about this current situation? What can you actually tell us about the situation, please? What can you tell us about the situation? Right, so we have blessed. What can you tell us, please, Spirit, about the situation the DM is in at the moment? Between worlds. Okay. Treasure Island. Orphaned. Okay, they want me to have... Okay, they want me to pull more cards. So let me see. Thinker and Chop Wood. This came up in the DM reading before. So are there other cards, please? Are there any more? To the Sea and Co-Create. Okay, so it's interesting. There seems to be something in his situation at the moment that he feels has been brought to him as something that he needs to, I was going to say embrace, that's the wrong word. It's almost like he feels that this has been brought to him spiritually and that he needs to somehow find his way forward with it, because they said the word religious to me. So for some of your DMs, there's some sort of belief system that they have that may be making them have this dilemma about whether they should stay or whether they should go. They definitely, it's something that, as we can see, is keeping them stuck, because, you know, they see that there's pluses and minuses for their current situation. Some of their current situation is very dark and pulls them down and makes them feel very stuck. And some of it, you know, they have good moments, they are trying to be more positive about it, but they're constantly being pulled in both directions. And, you know, this is what is creating this feeling of being stuck. But it's almost like, coming back to this blessed card, it almost feels like they feel that it's been brought to them for a reason and that they're duty bound to get on with it. You know, when the people say, oh, well, they've made their bed, they've got to lie in it. It's almost like they're coming from that particular mindset, you know, but they feel that it's been brought to them for a reason. As I say, some of them, it will be for religious reasons. Some of them, it's just about their belief system, you know, what the sort of morals they've been brought up with, or, you know, how they feel generally about how they should be responsible and dutiful. For some of them, there's also going to be a financial issue here. We saw that in the previous reading as well. So, you know, for some of them, they want to sort of move away, and they're trying to move away from this situation, keep everything calm. Look how calm that water is. Where water is on a card, it's usually about emotion. So they're trying to slowly handle these emotions and slowly keep the sort of some I was going to say the loving feelings, but it's not about necessarily the loving feelings. It's about keeping the status quo and keeping everything calm. So, you know, they feel sort of, it's interesting because when I look at this card, I never talk about burden, because this card is quite joyous in its way. It's about making slow progress. So it could be for some of the divine masculines, they feel that they are making progress out of their current situation, if that is what they're wanting. You know, if you do see the other reading, you will see the progress that they are making. And you know, it does feel like they feel they're moving forward, but it is quite slow because they're trying to keep everything calm. They have some financial responsibilities, but they also have some sort of attachment there that they're finding difficult to break. Now, okay, you know, I can almost hear you go, oh, no, because I know that some of you have a DM in a karmic situation. What I'm saying is that there's an attachment there. I don't necessarily mean a loving attachment there. I feel that there's some sort of dutiful attachment there. And that duty is coming from these fundamental belief systems that they have. But, you know, they've just said the word abandonment to me. So we have the Orphaned card here. Now, you know, the divine masculine isn't feeling happy in his current situation, regardless of how it's being presented to you. So, or being presented on, not presented to you necessarily, but presented on social media. You know, they are feeling very alone. But more than that, I do feel that this sense of duty they're feeling towards whatever this scenario is, and obviously it will be different for all of you, all of the DMs, because this is a very general reading. But again, it comes from this feeling of their inbuilt belief system. You know, I think I said in the previous reading, they don't want to be the bad guy, you know, and that comes from some sort of childhood insecurity here. As I said, when I picked this card up, Spirit said abandonment. So, you know, they have maybe their own issues that are very deep-seated around being, you know, abandoned. They may have been not physically necessarily abandoned, or some of them would be, but, you know, emotionally abandoned. They maybe didn't feel that strong attachment to family when they were growing up. So, you know, they struggle to abandon others. This will apply to some of the DMs. You know, you will know what applies to you, but also they're a bit worried about being left out in the cold as well. So some of them are thinking, if I leave this current situation, however difficult I'm finding it, I may end up feeling alone again and abandoned again, which are those whole childhood issues. And for others, as I say, they're feeling that they can't leave somebody else or a situation because they have this feeling of duty coming from their inner belief system. So, you know, but they are spending a lot of time, and again, we saw this in the other reading, they're spending a lot of time thinking things through. They're very much in their headspace, trying to make sense of why they're behaving in a certain way or how they got into this current situation. They're avoiding the issue by engaging in just everyday activities, really. The Chopwood card is all about dealing with daily tasks, getting on with what needs to be completed, what needs to happen. So, yeah, they're feeling there's a bit of avoidance going on, and it may simply be that they have what I call busy head syndrome. They're overthinking a lot. So in order to free their minds and give their minds a rest, they're getting on with everyday tasks because it's just easier than their mind going over and over the same scenarios again. But, you know, isn't this interesting? Look, we had Treasure Island at the top with this calm water, and we have To the Sea at the bottom with the calm water. They are wanting to move this situation forward. In the current circumstances, they may be feeling they're going backwards. They may be feeling that, you know, financially, for some of them, there may have been some setbacks. you know, and they're just trying to keep their current situation buoyant and sort of stable. But in their thinking, they are moving forward. Emotionally, they are moving forward. On the front of this card, there is an arrow pointing forward. They're not looking out of the binoculars backwards. They're going in the direction of the arrow facing forwards. So there is forward movement in this situation. And if we look in the sky here, there is spiritual guidance. I hope you can see that in this light. Yes, you can. There's spiritual guidance here. They're being watched over. They're being guided. That was very clear in the other reading too. So, you know, they're using their wisdom. They may well be having supportive friends around them. We have this egg here that is all about rebirth for me. It's about something new. It's about new beginnings. We have co-creation. So they don't want to be out in the cold on their own. There are some issues of abandonment for some of these DMs. So at the moment they have friends around them. Again, we're seeing this coming up in all the Divine Masculine readings I'm doing at the moment. There's some reference to friends, colleagues, and people supporting them around them. So, you know, they do want this new beginning. They do want to be with somebody and co-create, and it may be their fear of being left out in the cold. For some of you, they won't know, the Divine Masculine doesn't know how you're going to react, Divine Femme, when they come towards you. So that may be a real fear of theirs, that if they leave their current situation, the stability that they perceive their stability that they've built at the moment, and, you know, sort of stick their neck out and come towards the Divine Femme. If the Divine Femme rejects them, then their dreams to be co-creating with someone and being with someone will come crashing down, and they're going to be left feeling out in the cold again. It's quite deep stuff, this, in terms of, as I say, it can be different for all of your Divine Masculines. But for some of them, there are real issues around abandonment. For some of them, there are real issues about, you know, duty and having to, regardless of how stuck they feel, they've got to keep things calm. They've got to keep things moving forward slightly, but they feel a sense of real duty coming from their inner faith, you know, their inner belief system. Whether, as I say, whether that's religion or whether that's just the way they were brought up. So yes, they are overthinking, they are sort of getting on with their everyday tasks, but they are gradually moving things forward because they know they want this new beginning. Let me just get some tarot to see if we can get any more information. I'm going to go in the twos because they seem like they've given us cards that are in pairs here. So I'm just going to do 4 cards across the middle. Spirit, why do we have blessed and thinker, please? Why do we have blessed? Thank you. Yeah, I think he's exhausting himself, you know. Do remember when I make reference to him, it could also, your Divine Masculine could also be female. You will know what fits your current situation. So, but at the moment, there's a need for him to rest from all this. I think he's going round in circles and driving himself a bit crazy because he's trying to be the person that he believes he should be, but not necessarily the person he wants to be. He's overthinking it, and he's basically exhausting himself. He needs some time out. The work is done, really. He knows what he needs to do, but at the moment, he just needs to take a break from it because he is going round in circles. What's interesting is in the other reading, and please do check that out because these two fit together. In the other reading, it did show the end of a cycle. So that's maybe why he's feeling exhausted. Why do we have between worlds and chop wood then, Spirit, please? Why do we have between worlds and chop wood? Thank you. Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, you see, the King of Swords came up in the previous reading too. You know, he is a lot clearer in his thinking, but he wants to control this situation. He wants to actually, he's very much, again, in his headspace. This is what we saw in the previous reading, and we have the Thinker card down here, and we have the King of Swords here. You know, he wants to sort of cut through the confusion. He wants to find his way forward. He's thinking and thinking and thinking and wearing himself out in the current situation, to try and find the clarity he needs to be able to move forward. So why do we have Treasure Island and the sea, please? Why do we have to the sea with Treasure Island, Spirit? Yeah, again, look, a clear new beginning, you know? A new start, but it's a new start with clarity. So, you know, he wants to cut through any obstacles, and he just wants to get on with it, really. You know, he doesn't want anything to stand in his way. He is desperate for this new beginning. Yeah, it really is, as I see it, it really is about his belief system that is keeping him stuck. He wants to be the good guy. He wants to be, and there's nothing flaky in that. That comes from something very fundamental within, you know, that he believes that this is his duty, this is his responsibility, that he's created a situation that he needs to see through. Even though his heart is telling him he needs to be elsewhere, which is with you, Divine Femme. So why do we have Orphaned and Co-Create? What can you tell us about this, please, Spirit? What can you tell us about this, please, Spirit? Yeah, look at this. I mean, it couldn't be any clearer. We have the Ace of Swords saying, you know, these new clarity, this new opening up of a knowledge of what he wants. And we have the leap of faith. He just wants to take this leap of faith. He's fearful about the abandonment issues for some of the divine masculines. Or again, he's worried about walking out of a situation and knowing that maybe someone else is feeling abandoned, you know, because again, this is deep-rooted stuff for some of them. It's from childhood. So, you know, he is desperate to take this leap of faith, to co-create, you know, to have this new beginning. But he is held back by these very deep emotional belief systems that he has. That is really interesting. Let's just see if the Divine Masculine is going to have the courage to change his belief systems or you know, take the step forward that he wants to take forward. Step forward. You know what I mean. I'm having trouble with my English today, would you believe it? So, you know, will the Divine Masculine actually find the way through this situation, please? Sorry, Spirit. My angels, thank you. They've given me 2. Yeah. He will recover from this situation. And what's funny about this is the card that came up. What was the other reading? Because you'll laugh. Those of you that have seen it, you'll laugh when you see this situation. Don't stop. So Spirit are saying, look, he will actually recover from this situation. He will have a time of healing. You know, he's coming to terms with, you know, questioning his beliefs, questioning his actions, trying to understand why he's behaved in a certain way. So, you know, he does need, as we said, this resting and recovery time. So he will need that in order to move forward. He's gone through a huge awakening in the last year. So, you know, he will need time to recover. So even if he does leave, whatever situation it's in, whether it's a job, whether it's, you know, family that make demands on him, whether it's a karmic person, whoever, whatever, He will need time to recover and adjust to that situation. But Spirit are encouraging him to keep moving forward. They don't want him to stop in this static situation because it's not right for him. The Divine Masculine knows that, as I say, and I keep saying, if you watch the other reading, you'll be so fed up with me saying that, but they do tie in together. He is being told to constantly move forward. He's being encouraged not to stop with the progress that he's actually making. Right, I'm going to leave that there because I want it to be a short reading, but that gives us some sort of understanding of what inner feelings the Divine Masculine is experiencing at the moment regarding his current circumstances. So I hope you found that helpful. Do drop me a line down below, and if you like the channel, like the video, please tick like, and please don't forget to subscribe. I love having you on board. Okay, take care everyone, and we'll speak really soon. Bye for now.